Hello, everyone. Welcome to another 8-Bit Versus with myself, Popey, and him upstairs, which is Wimpy. Hello,
Hello.
Martin. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. Looking forward to this one.
I thought you might. This is Martin's choice. We each choose a game and play on old 8-bit systems. I am a fan of the Sinclair Spectrum. Martin is, unfortunately, a friend of the Commodore. And as you can see from the little thing down in the corner, probably down here, I think somewhere, my little Spectrum is down here and Martin's little Commodore is down there.
Yeah.
And you also find our Twitter accounts down here as well. And the idea here is we each choose a game and decide which system it played best on or which system was best out of the two. But the fun part is we get to play on each other's system. So I will be playing tonight Martin's choice, and your choice is
the epic Bobble.
Well, you can see it right there.
Yes, here's the cassette inlay for the re-release actually. But yeah, this was a firm favourite in the arcades. In fact, I played this at the Wickham 6 cinema. So when I used to go to the cinema, this was one of the cabinets in the cinema. So that's where I first encountered it, and then I didn't actually own this game. One of my friends did. So I used to go around to my mate Nick's house, and we used to play this in 2-player. So
I noticed the cover art here says joystick only. Yet another one of these that eschews the glorious keyboard control system that I favour.
Look, the keyboard is for typing on. It's for programming. The joystick is what you use for playing games, Alan. It's unfortunate that you obviously had some sort of concussion as a child, and yeah.
After half a dozen of these, I haven't learned that lesson yet. So
no,
give it time. It might sink in. Maybe I'll get it.
All right. Well, should we get it loaded and see how you fare playing this game on a keyboard? You're not going to be able to play on a keyboard.
Let's get a tape stuck in and let's get going.
Right. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We've loaded the game
Amazingly, Commodore 64 loaded pretty quickly. Don't know how.
Oh, the hate. The hate that is coming.
It's just an observation, Martin.
Really?
It's just an observation.
Okay, well there's more memory to fill than the Spectrum. That's why it takes why it takes longer. Right.
Okay.
This is Bobble.
Okay. I haven't played this for years, so I've completely forgotten what this is. I thought this was that thing where you fire bubbles up the screen.
I can't remember what that's called, but no, it's not
Puzzle.
that.
It's called Puzzle Bobble.
So this is Bob and Bob, who, depending, I remember them as being bubble dragons, but I also hear them being referred to as dinosaurs. But you are these two characters, and this is Baron von Blubber has kidnapped your girlfriends and hidden them in a cave system filled with monsters, and he has transformed Bub and Bob into water dragons or bubble dragons or dinosaurs, depending on what you think.
Of course he has.
And you now have to go through this cave system in order to find and rescue your girlfriends, and there they are. So
Bub and Bob.
Bub and Bob, and each screen, there are 100 screens to clear, and the objective is you eradicate all of the meanies in a screen. And the way that you do that is when you press fire, you will blow out a bubble. When the bubble is travelling horizontally, it can capture one of the meanies in the bubble. And once a meanie is in the bubble, then you can jump up underneath it and use the spike on the top of your head to burst the bubble, and turns the meanie into fruit, and you pick up the fruit and you earn more points.
I don't see any spikes on the top of my head.
Yeah, they are. Tiny little white spike on the top of the head.
Okay. So I'm playing a one-player game, right?
Yeah.
Press 1?
Yeah, press 1.
Joystick only.
Yes, of course.
Now,
the music for this, it's just so reminiscent. So, up is jump. You got it in the wrong joystick.
My joystick wasn't
There we go.
then. Can I just do that?
Yeah, and then now burst those bubbles. You have to hit them from underneath. You can, as you've just learned, you can also jump on bubbles. And that's a mechanic you may need later in order to get higher up the screen to parts of the screen that you can't jump to in a single bound. So you can blow a bubble. That was the first level. And there are 100 levels like this. Now, this game,
we'll be here a while then.
this game is littered with all kinds of power-ups and extras. So,
what if I don't pop him?
Well, you are on a time limit that it is not on the screen anywhere. If you don't get rid of these guys fast enough, then there's another meanie who will come steaming down the screen, and he has the touch of death. So he will come after you. Oh, you want that? Quickly, go faster, faster.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Oh, you're going to miss it.
This is a Commodore 64. I cannot go any faster.
Yay, well done.
What was that?
Points.
Oh, can I go through?
Yes.
Here?
Don't do that though. Oh, it's not Mario.
Oh, you can't land on their head.
No, you can only burst them in their bubble from underneath.
Oh.
But so there's some extra mechanics here. So some of the bubbles will turn into the letters that spell out the word extend. If you can pick up all of the letters that spell extend, you get an extra life. Some of the things that the monsters turn into have additional points or properties. Yeah, so the fruit is points. But there's crosses and shoes. The shoes make you go faster. There's sweets, which will either make your bubbles travel farther or faster, or allow you to produce bubbles more quickly. So there's just a ton of stuff.
How many bubbles can I do at a time?
Depends what sweets you've eaten. But
of course.
Yeah. But you can't be too close, so hurry up, otherwise he's going to come down the screen with his finger of death and put one on you. Yeah, it's a bit like Pac-Man, where if you've trapped a meanie but you don't burst their bubble, they come back angry and they will be seeking out the character that imprisoned them in the bubble. They'll be coming after you specifically.
If there's two of you, does it it'll come after the one that...
Yes, that did it.
Oh, man.
And mentioning the two-player aspect is a good point, because this game was actually designed to be a two-player game. So whilst it is possible to play single player,
what are those musical notes?
Points.
I like the way it eats away at the play area. What is going on here? I don't understand. Oh, I've got a time error at the top.
Yeah, there we go.
I've got a bonus.
Well done. Does that
Perfect
look familiar?
Bonus. No.
It's homage to Bomb Jack.
Oh, this has come after Bomb Jack.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yes, this game works best as a two-player game. Some levels do require that you have... So there's some letters at the top there, the X and the T. So for spelling out your extend, there's another X there. Now the other thing is as you're capturing the meanies...
That's an X.
That's an X.
Oh! He jumped into me.
If you capture a group of them and burst all their bubbles together, you capture a group of meanies in bubbles. and they float to the top of the screen. If you burst all of those bubbles at once, you earn more points, like an accumulator, for the more that you burst at the same time. And you get better rewards instead of just fruit. And there are all sorts of complicated rules in this game about like how many levels you can progress through without losing a life. So I think if you go through 20 levels without losing a life, then it exposes a hidden room which will then transfer you on a number of rooms. You can skip over whole levels in the game because the objective is you get to level 100 to face down Baron von Blubber to, you know, get your girlfriends back.
Sounds very much like Gauntlet, where you can like skip.
Yeah, and
skip levels.
This game has multiple endings depending on the route through the game that you've taken, and even whether you were playing it as a single player or a two-player game. It changes the outcome on the final screen. Or at least it does in the arcade version. I think the Commodore version has the same ending regardless of how you got there. You want that cross thing? That's good. Yeah, get that.
What cross thing?
There we go.
What was that cross thing? Did I get it?
Yes, you did. I thought that gave you some additional bubbling power, but maybe I'm wrong about that. My memory's a bit hazy.
Additional bubbling power?
I like the speed at which you can produce bubbles. So there's letter D for extend. Can you see that's in the side?
Oh, so you get the letters down the left hand.
Yeah. And that's not for the one level. It will keep those across levels.
Oh, bum.
Oof, crikey. Got the skin of your teeth. You're playing a dangerous game here. Whoa! Collision detection. Oh, hurry up.
Come on.
Some of the bubbles, when you burst them, will release torrents of water that sort of cascade through the levels and sweep up all of the meanies as we go. Yes, Jill, I do agree. This is a very cute game. I like it a lot. And having played this in the arcade, I have to say, as arcade conversions go, this is remarkably accurate.
So I remember seeing this in a magazine. Oh, shit. They move fast.
Yep.
What's that thing in the middle at the bottom?
Points. Or something. But you should generally...
It looks dangerous.
You generally pick things up.
It's flashing with a skull in it. Surely
probably kills everything on the screen. Oh, those ones. Can you see these water ones? Pop those with your head. These water bubbles. That one. There you go. See?
They kill me. Yeah, but I died.
I'm demonstrating how a mechanic of how it works.
All right, one more.
Yeah, I thought you would.
It's quite nice. I like.
Yes, McPhail.
It's very cutesy.
We are, as from this point forwards, we're defaulting to the 120k version of the Spectrum for the games that we play. Because, frankly, Popey was never going to win one unless we at least gave the Spectrum some kind of...
That was not the conversation we had earlier,
Totally
Martin.
the conversation. So easy to troll. Right then. Do any of you play this in the arcades or on the home conversions? And if so, did you ever complete it? And did you do it single-handedly or did you have to partner up with a friend?
I have honestly never played this game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So not in the arcades either?
I saw it in the arcade.
Right.
And I remember seeing it in one of the 16-bit magazines and seeing the Amiga screenshots and thinking, wow, that looks just like the arcade game that I've seen. But I never played it on either.
Right. Yeah, this was... in the arcades, we only ever played it cooperatively. None of us would ever play it on our own. It was always played, you know, two-player. It's definitely a better game, two-player. So I think if you're falling towards a bubble, and you press up, you can jump off it. You'll bounce. Which you can sometimes use if you're falling towards the meanies and there's a bubble, you can, bounce off it and prevent yourself from
Where are those
landing
bubbles
on
coming
them.
from? Are they my bubbles?
They're your bubbles that are lingering. Yeah, they have a sort of time to live. And as you can see, they'll go through the... Well, actually, some of those may not be yours.
Ah!
Oh, these are much faster than
There's
you.
no way I was going to get away from that.
What have we got here? So we've got... So Bitten played it on the Sega Master System with his sister. And also played it on the C64 on the NES, but never completed it. McPhail says...
Oh, if you don't get rid of them, they escape from the
yes,
bubble.
and then they come back faster and meaner. And McPhail says he plays it on MAME from time to time, but he gets his backside
the arcade version.
Yeah.
Right.
And Tux...
God damn it!
It says it's a classic game.
It's got that cutesy thing that I have. One of my favourite games of this era is the New Zealand story.
Right.
And this has that cutesy little creatures running and jumping, and I don't care about the fact that I'm killing a thing because they're cutesy characters.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But fudge. But equally, it has that utterly frustrating collision detection thing.
Yeah. So the follow-up to this was Rainbow Islands, which you might also be familiar with.
I'm aware of Rainbow Islands from the Amiga, I think.
Right. But what this design, the game designer for this, when it was, made for the arcade, they were trying to create a game that would appeal to women as well, and they envisaged that you would play it as a couple, which is why there's a strong emphasis on the two-player, cooperative play.
Right.
Yeah. So apparently they were trying to think of lots of things that would be, enjoyable and agreeable to men and women, and that's where they came up with the bubbles, because they thought that the sensation of bursting lots of bubbles would be, something that people would enjoy doing.
Generic enjoyment.
Well, these characters were originally robots in some of the early prototypes with spikes on their
Really?
heads. Yeah, but he didn't feel that this was, cute enough, so they came up with these, well, either dragons or dinosaurs. I like to think that they're dragons, because I'm pretty sure the original game on the arcade, the inserts that you can sometimes get a printout of what you've got to do next to where the joystick is, I'm pretty sure I remember reading that they were dragons at the time. If anyone knows for sure, let us know. We're doing some of this. Oh, there's a T. You want that? That's good.
Oh, tits!
Oh, there's so many letters there. 2 T's and an X.
Right, I'm done with this.
Oh, really?
It's just annoying me.
Oh,
yeah, it's
wow.
really pissing me. All right, one more go.
I think that right there is the appropriate response. I think this game has got that, just one more go factor in spades. Shall I tell you how to ace that level next time? Oh, that makes you go faster. Those red shoes mean that you're quicker now. Oh.
Not quick enough.
I like the way the bubble almost spelled tits. Right. I like this transition as well. This was from the original arcade, where your character goes into a bubble and it transfers you to the starting position for the level each time. It's I just really like it. I mean, so many fond memories of this game, I have to say. Originally in the arcade, and then countless hours on the computer afterwards.
What does the cross do?
Usually good. Usually power-ups or something. The colours do signify what they bestow, but I can't remember them anymore. If anyone can remember, we're in one of the categories we're in, or tags that we've put on this channel, is backseat gamer, which means we're welcome for anyone in chat to tell us what we're doing wrong and give us advice on how to play some of these games.
I'm not.
If we can't remember. So Tux.
Yeah, I do remember that level transition from the arcade version. Yeah. I certainly do.
Oh, lots of letters. Oh, this is exciting. Look at all those letters. Right. Oh.
Man.
You just love trying to jump on their heads.
It's just a brush with the meanie and your...
Oh, yeah. They're touch of death.
Bastard.
Mm-hmm. Good one.
Gotcha. Where's he going?
So you've got the X and the N so far for extend.
What do you get when you get all the letters?
An extra life.
Another life? Or...
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And a bonus, some bonus points.
I've got none left. Okay.
So, if anyone's into text adventures on the Specky, Dracula and Jack the Ripper 128k version are classics. Did you play many text adventures back in the day? Whoop.
No.
Oh.
Bugger. This is bloody annoying, this game.
Like I say, it comes into its own in two-player, because if you imagine, you can get either side of them and both be pumping out bubbles, or you can be bubbling up the enemies whilst the other player goes round and, gets them, and, you can really, duo the game. It's great. So go and get the flashy thing, because I'm pretty sure you want that.
I think I did something
there.
Yeah,
you did there. I think that made you invincible. There's another water thing there. Whoop. Good job.
Oh my gosh, that cocktail,
a long way away.
I think. Can't get it. What level am I on now? Does it give you any idea what level you're on?
Okay, so 7. Retro Gaming Denmark is back. Welcome to the channel. Why lol the Commodore 64 version? This is an epic version of the game. We haven't played the Spectrum version yet. Looks like a bad Amstrad CPC. Oh, how dare you! This is almost a perfect conversion from the arcade. This version.
Well, it's not really.
It really is. It's remarkably
close. The Amiga is perfect. The Amiga is a perfect.
Well, yeah, because it's got the resolution and the colour fidelity, because this was a 256 colour game in the arcade. But for what you can do, the music, and the graphics and the gameplay, it's really just there. It's
right now. I'm properly putting my controller down, and I don't want to play this anymore.
Okay, so it's now my turn. So I'll just get that loaded up. We'll be back in 1 moment. Okay, I've got this loaded up now, so it's my go. So,
show me how it's done, Martin.
Well, the passage of time has not been kind to me memorising the patterns in this game, so I think I will struggle almost as much as you But let's see. Oh, got it in the wrong port. That's going to cause me a problem. Right then, I can't even remember this one. I think I go here, pick you two up. Oh.
This was a very highly rated game back in the day.
I mean, it's just gameplays. I mean, I love it. I'm a big fan of platformers. Platformers and racing games are sort of my favourites, and they're shoot 'em ups sort of third. And playing this one player, it doesn't have quite the same appeal as it did. These are non-alcoholic beers, by the way. Actually, that's what it said in the game. The fries you saw were from Whackdonald's. There's all sorts of.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah.
So, this was reviewed in CMVG back in the day.
Right.
And it got 9 for graphics, the Commodore version.
Right.
9 for value. What price was it? It was a
£10 game. This.
$8.95.
Oh, really? Oh, that's less than I remember.
And playability, it got 9. And the reviewer said it's unlikely you'll ever discover or master the features of Bobble. If you're not finding ways to dodge Baron von Blubber or finding the best place on the screen to burst a group of bubbles, you'll be working out how to collect the fruits and treasure on the screen before the time runs out. The game's as addictive as bubblegum is long-lasting, apparently. So I'm told.
Oh,
interestingly, there was a Bubble editor made in 2007 for the Spectrum version, mind.
for this
enables
game.
To enable you to edit the levels and create your own levels.
Interesting. That I've been surprised how many modern takes on games we've found doing this.
There was even a text adventure of Bobble. Did you hear that?
Sorry?
I said there was even a text adventure of Bobble.
Really?
Yep. It was made a few years later, but...
Oh.
This was one of those ones that once they got the license, they made a version for basically everything. There was, obviously the 664 and the Spectrum version, but there was also one for the MSX. Sega Master System, I think Bitten said they played it on the Sega Master
System. He did, yeah.
And the Amstrad CPC as well. Which I have to say, the Amstrad version looked better than this.
Do you think so?
Oh my god, yes.
How does it look better?
Colours. Resolution.
Oh, there we go. Did you see that? That was the umbrella. And now I skip a bunch of levels.
Oh, and now you skip through to...
Yeah.
What did you skip? 5 levels?
Yeah,
down?
quite a lot.
13. Holy cow. Yeah, I think the Amstrad version could have more colours on screen in each 8x8 pixel block than the Commodore, so it looked more colourful, looked more authentic.
Right.
But I have a feeling it was slower.
I think
because of the nature of the Amstrad.
How the heck? I can't even remember how I get in there. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
yes, it does. Oh dear. Do I have to go down? I can't remember how I do it. I think I need to burst one of those water bubbles. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Is do that, but it didn't quite work. Do they go? Yeah, they go the opposite way you face. That's right. So if I face this way, it will go the other way. There we go. That took a couple with him. There we go. There, we'll have that.
I didn't realise the later levels had characters that didn't walk, but just floating around.
Yeah, there's all
I don't think I
sorts.
ever saw levels this high.
It's a terrific game. Right, okay.
If you squint, this is the... Is it a whale? Or something?
Yeah, it's like one of those things that's going around the screen at the moment.
Yeah.
Ah! That was, got myself penned in there.
So did you buy this on the Commodore then?
No, my friend had it, so I played this at my friend's house. I never actually had it on the Commodore. I probably bought the game, I don't know, like 100 times over in the... Oh, bother. I think that's it. All over. Wow.
You
Yes,
did well.
the white ones throw fireballs. So round 14, I'll take that. I'm going to have to... well, I tell you what. I mean, I could sit here and play that and play that and play that, but do you want to have a look at the Spectrum version now?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah?
We've got the idea of the gameplay, so now we'll just load it up on the Spectrum. Here we
Okay,
go.
who's playing that?
You are. You ready?
Okay, then. Yes.
There we go. Got that loaded up. So I just noticed Captain Rago was saying that there's a new Bobble on the Switch, which includes the original version. I've been trying to find an excuse to buy a Switch. Maybe that could be the push that I need. Right then. Tell me, are you going to use a keyboard?
I think I'm going to use Kempston because... Why
Okay. Okay.
So 3 for Kempston. Interesting noise. Control for player 2. Player 2 will play with the keyboard.
Okay.
But
yeah, you have to set this up, unfortunately. So.
Oh, whoops. No. Left, right, fire, jump. Yes. Just in case I want to play on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh, why has it gone black? Oh.
There we go. It's fine.
Wow.
Right, 6 credits. So.
Wow, this is fast.
Okay. Well, the music rendition's quite... What? Oh, what was that noise?
What, the fart noise?
Yes.
I'm not sure what that fart noise was. That's me jumping.
Oh, they could have done without that sound effect. So yes, Retro Denmark. We've made a switch where the 128k version is available. We're always going to play a 128k version of the games now. And for the music, it was worth it. But for that constipated fart noise, you know, they I could have done without that.
I noticed they've removed the possibility of colour clash. Oh, hello. What the hell happened there?
Did you pick up a cross?
Possibly. Good lord.
Yes, this is the 128k version, and earlier we played Chase HQ, and we played the 128k version of Chase HQ, and a couple of days ago we played Delta, and we played the 128k version of Delta as well.
So, interestingly, a few things to note about this. It feels faster.
Well, it should be.
Why?
Well, this isn't particularly demanding, and I think that, you know, the very slight, you know, instructions per clock and all the rest of it, very slight, you know, processing advantage, and there's lower resolution.
Is it?
The Spectrum's lower resolution than the Commodore, yeah.
Horizontally, it's higher.
It's the Spectrum's
Because you've got
252 by 192.
256 by 192.
Yeah, and the Commodore's 320 by 200.
Yeah, but you've got fat pixels, so everything's 160. It's not actually 320. I'm finding this more enjoyable than the Commodore because it feels faster and it feels like... Yeah, okay, the colours might not be there.
Yeah.
But they avoid the colour clash. You can tell they've avoided the colour clash by not allowing two things to occupy the same space. So even that when you
that's the cookie chuckers.
when you hit a coloured like fruit or something,
yeah,
it just disappears. You never see it overlaid on top.
Yeah, you only see it slightly with, like there, the shoe there, look.
The water.
Oh, that's the fast running shoe. No, McPhail, I'm not conceding dominance to the Z80.
I actually find this more playable.
It might be because you're more familiar with, you know, the feel of Spectrum games than I am. You know,
No, it just feels faster.
Well, it may well be faster, but to be fair, this isn't how the arcade version moved. The Commodore 64 is a very accurate...
The arcade game was sluggish, is what you're saying.
It wasn't fast-paced, no.
I put it to anyone in our audience to put a copy of MAME alongside this, because I think this is...
Yes, all the registers.
Like, my memory may be wrong. My memory may be wrong. And, yeah, the farty sound is not great.
Yeah, I mean, why they left that in, I don't know. It doesn't actually serve any... You can see you're jumping, you don't need that squirmy sound to go with it.
Oh, I just saw the thing you mentioned earlier where you can jump off a bubble.
Right, oh, what, you landed on one and bounced off it? Yeah.
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 And then jumped up and got another thing.
Yeah.
That worked quite well.
If you see crosses, try and pick those up. But that one didn't stick around for very long.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
One of the problems I don't like about this game, it's a game mechanic, it's not a bug or anything, but when you jump, it forces you to be on the next level.
It's very
jump a bit
precise. Yeah.
Like you're going to be jumping up a bit. Oh, those are McDonald's, are they?
That's McDonald's. Yeah.
Fries.
So you're enjoying this now?
Yes.
And you're playing on the same controller?
Was I playing on this controller on the Commodore? Yes, I was, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because the Commodore was joystick only. I didn't have that choice.
So I've never played this on the Spectrum. I know that this game was well reviewed on the Spectrum, just as it was on the Commodore, you know, back at the time. So, you know...
Yeah, it got some good scores in most of the magazines. I mean, they all reviewed it, obviously, because it was a conversion.
I think it got 97 or 96% in SAP 64, and it was definitely low 90s in Crash magazine for the Spectrum.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's it. Oh.
What's that thing?
Ah.
Why is there a cake?
Eat the cake.
Cake is a lie.
Cake is good. That's it. Points.
You'll notice I've probably got higher levels so far on this than...
You're on level 5, I think. And you've got letter E. So, for those of you that have watched past episodes, in this one and the previous one, we've turned the scan lines off in the display. What do you think? Does things look clearer on the stream? Is that a good change?
Yeah, it'd be good to know because
we're
it's
conflicted.
semi-authentic, isn't
Yeah.
it, to have the scan lines. This is enjoyable, and it's bright and colourful.
Yes, it is that. It's actually, I mean, you don't often see the magenta and yellow together, and that looks quite appealing. Very candy cane.
Not a fan of this title screen. That double high text.
Yeah, so there is only so much magic we can pull off. We're not in the same location, for anyone watching for the first time. We are remote from one another, and what you need to remember is I'm watching Alan play real time. Obviously the actual stream is a little bit delayed, so we're pushing the limits of what we can do to make that happen. So yes, there may be a little bit of delay in our reactions to what each other's doing, but it's as good as it can be. So have you started a new game?
Yep.
You're back on level 2, right. Now, do you think you're enjoying this because you've played it and you know what you're supposed to be doing and you're a little bit proficient?
No,
now?
I just found I found the sluggishness on the Commodore to be annoying.
Oh, eat the sweet, that's it. So blow some bubbles, they might be coming out faster or go further. Yeah, they see how they go further and faster now. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
You should still have that, hopefully.
Oh, what? Well, who hit me then? Boom. Your face.
So Jill says that it definitely looks clearer, but I like the scan lines for the vintage look. Yeah, this is what we deliberated on. We can get more authentic colours if we ditch the scan lines. I spent several hours yesterday reacquainting myself with the SMPTE colour standards to actually get the colours looking right. And when we use the scan lines, it messes with all of that. So we're not sure yet. We might bring them back if we can figure something out that's better. And Retro Gaming Denmark says they prefer it without the scan lines as well. Did you also config the 64 emulator? Yes, so we've removed the simulated S-video and scanline stuff from the Commodore this evening because that was the culprit for actually washing out the colours so much, which is one of the reasons why we've turned
it's kind
all
of a
that
compression
stuff off.
artifact.
Yeah,
really,
yeah, it's the way that we have
Thanks
to.
for joining us again, by the way.
Piece this together.
Denmark.
Yeah,
I was watching his stream earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
discovered a whole bunch of Spectrum games I'd never seen before.
And Sorceress says, I think I could do without the scan lines. You like the colour better. Yeah. That's good feedback, everyone. Thank you, particularly from Jill, who I know is a digital artist. So I'll take your opinion on board there, Jill. Thanks for that.
What level am I on now?
I mean, this is... Okay. You could say these colours are quite garish, but they're not...
Well, that's the point of the game, isn't it?
Well, no, but they're not. They really look quite great. Maybe it's because we've got the scan lines off. I mean, I love all this. The last level was some greens and what have you. Oh, nicely done. Nice manoeuvre. Oop. Oh, get you.
I've got to hurry up.
Yeah, you have. Yeah. Oh, I can't tolerate you not picking up the extra bonuses and stuff.
I can't get to them fast enough.
Thanks, Jill. How can I resist a stream like this? Yeah, well, thanks for coming, Retro Gaming Denmark. You added some credibility to our very first live stream when you turned up with all your facts and recollections of the same games that we enjoyed in our youth. So it's always lovely to have you here to join.
It's always
in the
nice
fun.
to have friendly faces in here.
Yeah, totally.
While we're playing these stupid old games.
We've also got you set up a auto-hosted as well now, Retro Gaming Denmark, because we've been having a look at your channel earlier.
Right.
Oh, there we go. And
What? There we go. What?
Well, you were bouncing your way up there then. The clock does something good, I think.
Slows time?
I can't remember. So much of this is gone. If any of you can remember, what some of those level up power-ups were, a lot of that's just fallen out of my head in the intervening 30 years. I can't believe it's 30 years. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I killed him. How the hell?
No, I think so. This was one. There was a cookie that he'd launched that you couldn't quite see because of the way they overlapped. That's the one graphical, downside to this. But other than that, it's fun to watch. I'm enjoying watching you.
Mike Follin, I recognise that name. Did he do Agent X and a few other games? That name is
Spectrum stuff. I don't know.
I will have a bit of research while you load the Spectrum game. So you
okay. I'll load it up now. Whilst I figure out my controller, you were just mentioning a developer name that you recognised.
Yeah, Mike Follin. It turns out he did the Spectrum version of Bobble, but also did Ghouls and Ghosts, The Sentinel, which is one of my all-time favourite games. If you've not played The Sentinel, it's a bit quirky. It's totally worth a look. But also did some other arcade conversions, including Bionic Commandos. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to put that on the list. I loved that game.
But he also has a Wikipedia page. And the Wikipedia page introduces him as the Reverend Michael Stuart Follin, was a game programmer.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. So it's a brother duo.
A vicar. No, it's his name is Mike Follin, but he's the Reverend now.
Yeah.
He's a vicar at St. Peter's Church, a small Anglican church in Merseyside. It's funny how people change careers like that.
So I've immediately noticed the controls work in a different way.
Really?
Yeah, on the Commodore and the arcade, if you push up, it will continue to jump up, but you have each jump is a distinctive connection with the controller.
So you can't just hold the button.
You can't hold up down and just continue to jump. You have to do it as
I didn't notice that.
So the way you fast boots, that's it, that's better. What sort of glides around at that point? Come on then. Let's have you.
Bitin says Tim Follin is Mike Follin's younger brother, it seems. And Tim is the musical genius. So, yes, they were a pair of brothers.
Oh.
Wow. There's a few of those brother, tag teams in the coding world.
Darling Brothers.
Darling Brothers. Were they Codemasters? Or...
They were, yeah.
They were the guys who did Dizzy and all that.
That's right, yeah.
And they were the first Stampers as well, who were the guys who ran Ultimate and later became Rare.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
I always wondered back in the day if like Ocean, Imagine and Ultimate were all actually part of like the same organisation because the branding was so similar with those sort of 3D white and blue chrome logos.
Well, Ultimate and Ocean definitely weren't, because Ocean was like I don't know if you've watched not Broderbund. What's it called? Charlie Brooker's thing on Netflix. The Choose Your Own Adventure TV program, partly based on lots of 80s stuff, but a little bit based on Ocean software, and some of the characters in it are based on characters who worked at Ocean and those kind of 8-bit companies. But Ultimate, before they were called Ultimate, they were called Ashby Computer Graphics, from Ashby de la Zouche.
Oh my goodness, I've got a friend that lives there.
And they were very like they did an awful lot of public stuff, but I can't remember who else it was that they really kept back some of the games. I think they kept back Nightmare, the long apocryphal stories that they put out Saberwolf first, even though they developed Nightlaw first, because they knew if they put Nightlaw out first, Saberwolf wouldn't sell. That's the apocryphal story. Once you put out that isometric Nightlaw game, nobody's going to want a 2D dungeon crawl, fun game. Were there like super popular isometric games on the Commodore other than those?
I can remember. Was it Marble Madness, which wasn't really?
Oh yes.
That wasn't really isometric, but it had that kind of look to it.
Interestingly, the Marble Madness, there's a game developer conference, GDC YouTube channel.
Right.
The original developer of Marble Madness has done a retrospective of the original arcade version of Marble Madness. That's totally worth a watch, about how they went through the process of developing the game and they had to throw stuff out, and how they compressed the graphics into this like tiny little memory footprint. It's fascinating to watch those kind of things. So how are you getting on with this version then?
It's perfectly playable and lots of fun, and my only complaint is the fact that the controls are ever so slightly different. I've compensated for that now.
I like the fact that actually does every level have yellow in it, or the colour of Bub and Bob?
I don't know.
So there's yellow and blue in this one, and Bub is yellow. That avoids colour clash. Yes, and this one's white and red, and Bub is white. So he can jump over stuff, and his mask stops you getting any colour clash. It's very clever.
There we go. Yeah, the only colour clash is when these rewards come down and they hit into the shaded areas, but other than that, it's very good.
Yeah, it's very well done.
I have to say, doing this is serving one of the purposes we set out to achieve, which was, finding good games to really enjoy, but also, I'm beginning to appreciate when Spectrum games were done well. So now I've got longer, faster firing bubbles, look. That's what the yellow sweep does.
And that's quite a lot of stuff to be going on screen on the poor little Z80. I noticed they didn't bother trying to replicate any arcade fonts. I don't know if they ran out of room, but they're using the bog standard Spectrum font. That's usually a sign that they've run out of memories. When they kind of,
just using the ROM?
When they're just using the ROM font. Yeah.
Well, there's 100...
it's quite a lot of space used for the game. There's only 2 lines at the top.
Yeah.
And the rest is gameplay.
Yes, that's nice to see. We've lamented, some of these games which, overly constrict the playable area, probably in an effort to artificially create an aspect ratio. This is decent. Oh, there's a T there. We'll have that. Thank you. Oh.
And they've got a little bit of animation to them, and I like the animation in the bubbles as well. It's a nice port.
It is. It's perfectly playable. First time I've played this version, and if I was a Spectrum owner and a lover of the arcade machine, I'd be perfectly happy with this. It's got all the fun elements you want. We'll have
and it's got 100 levels. It's not like Chase HQ that only had 5 5 stages. This is.
I'm gonna have to try and push that out of my memory. That Commodore version of Chase HQ was just it's the worst thing. I mean, I can't imagine a worse arcade conversion. That was atrocious. Oh no.
So there's a discussion in the
chat
at the moment about whether this was a multi-load or not.
I don't think it was, because you could move on levels. So as you saw earlier, I picked up a bonus which shot me forwards, 7 levels. The dynamics are quite straightforward. Once you've got the level arranged and you've got the mechanics for each of the meanies, I think it's doable. Yeah, here we go. Now I'm going on now that I've just picked up the umbrella. So how many levels am I going to skip now?
8, 9.
Oh, I like that level. Damn it.
10. Wow, you're getting up to 13 or so, eh? That's where you ended up on the Commodore, I think. 13. There's nothing on the World of Spectrum page that indicates it's multi-load, and typically it does mention that.
I've got an appreciation for that World of Spectrum page as well. That's very complete. The information.
It's comprehensive, isn't it? So, Judge Dave, welcome to the stream. Yes, this is the Spectrum version, not the Commodore version. We played the Commodore version earlier, which was very playable.
It looked and sounded better.
Accurate arcade conversion. I don't know. I quite like the music. It's very.
It's just that squirty noise. Yeah, I know. It just ruins it. It's unnecessary. I think the sound effects
Gaming
guy
Denmark has said some very kind things about the stream in the chat. You'll have to look at it when you're not playing it.
Okay. Oh, that's convenient. This stream is basically a great idea. That's very kind. The execution is perfect. That's very kind. Also, it's not perfect yet. We're still working out some of the kinks.
Read it later. You'll go red. So Judge Dave had the Amstrad version. Yeah, I was a Amstrad person as well. And so part of me, when we're playing these games, like Spectrum versus Commodore, I'm often thinking, oh man, I wish I could pull out the Amstrad version.
Yeah.
After the Spectrum, I moved on to the Amstrad, and some of these games are definitely better on the Amstrad, graphically at least.
Interesting. We might have to introduce that into some of these. Well, I could play that again, but I don't think we need to. I think we've seen both systems at their best there. So yeah, let's move on. Oh, that's the wrong game entirely. This is the game we've just been playing. There we go. So, we've played Bobble on both.
This was your choice.
This was my choice. Well, I had a fantastic time. That was so much more enjoyable than the last video we did with Chase HQ on both systems. A very playable game. Very playable game.
Yeah, it was playable on both, really. You could quite happily sit there and grind through, all the levels on either one of those platforms. It was, It was.
I got in or about the same place on both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the outer graphics, like this, I say this, the start screen where you see, player 1 or 2 or whatever on the Spectrum leaves a bit lacking when you compare it to the title sequence on the Commodore, where you have Bob and Bob in their little bubbles, bouncing
and
around.
Then the transitions between the levels where the characters appear in the bubbles and get transported back to the start point. So it's really in the details. The Commodore is the more faithful arcade conversion because it preserves some of that, aesthetic of the original arcade machine. And some of the mechanics as well, and the little transitions. But in terms of actually playing the game, it's just as much fun on both because it's a great game that's been accurately brought over to both platforms.
I would argue that the transition, while nice to have, of the little guy going down to the corner, okay, that's nice. And it's faithful to the arcade, but it's not a must-have, right? It's a detail, right?
Yeah.
Much like the title sequence, the titles with the little Bob and Bob in their bubbles is a detail, and I think that's where the Commodore edges slightly in graphical detail. But I found the Spectrum version more playable, and only because I found it a bit faster, and I felt like I was more in control of the character. I
Right.
felt like it was moving more in line with me moving my joystick. I felt like I was properly controlling him. I wasn't as sluggish as the Commodore. And I found a couple of games where the Commodore has been a bit sluggish, and I felt like, oh, am I actually controlling this guy?
Yeah, it's a shame you're wrong, but anyway, like I said, the Commodore is an accurate. That motion is how it feels in the actual arcade game. It isn't super
Right, and
fast.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's always good to be 100% accurate arcade conversion. I think it's a bit of artistic endeavor for the person who's doing the port to the 8-bit platform to add a bit of their own in there to make it better. And I think that Spectrum version was better.
So, if you loved an arcade machine, those details back in the day that accurately preserved the sort of the feel of the arcade machine, even if it was just window dressing, like some of those animations between levels on Bobble, that was like the important little details that made it that much better. But what we have talked about before is where maybe bringing over things completely accurately lost something in translation, like Hypersports on the Commodore 64 was, in my opinion, utterly faithful to the arcade machine, but there were just choices that they'd made there that maybe they shouldn't have done, like the speed at which you whip through the events. Because you're playing it on a home computer and you're not being fleeced for coins, and there's no need to trip you up because of a fast transition, they shouldn't have had that. So there are places
that echoes what I said, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's okay for a porter to put a bit of effort in to make it a little bit different. I think that's fine.
Hello, Ewan. Thank you for joining us. We're just wrapping up, so we've just played Bobble on the 64 and the Spectrum, and we've both had a great time. I think you preferred the Spectrum version more. I think there's a bit of bias there.
Yeah, I think we call that a draw. I think you prefer the Commodore. You prefer the authenticity of the arcade conversion. I prefer the playability of the Spectrum.
Yeah. Well, the gameplay is there in both, and if the only
they're both very playable.
And if the only 8-bit home conversion available was the Spectrum, then I wouldn't have been unhappy about playing that. You know, that is a very enjoyable game. Unlike Chase HQ that we played earlier, where clearly whoever was responsible for that was on the Commodore 64.
Should be fired.
They phoned that one in.
Fired.
Yeah. Hang their head in shame.
Right. Okay, so I consider that a draw. Should we wrap up then?
Score draw, yeah.
Cool. So that's the end of our little Bobble-a-thon, which was a two-parter. So last time we played Chase HQ, as Martin mentioned. You could go back and watch that video and see how we fared on chasing down the perps. And this one was Bobble, both arcade coin-ops. If you have any suggestions for games you think we should play, either that were great on the Spectrum or great on the Commodore 64, then leave a comment or let us know via any one of the myriad ways listed below, including Twitter, or you can jump on our Discord, join the chat there, let us know which game we should play next, or suggest a genre of game that we might want to play. We've had a few suggested already. This was just a coin-op conversion. We've done shoot-em-ups. We could certainly try many other genres, and we could certainly revisit genres. It's not like we're exclusively doing genres once. There's plenty of games for us to choose from.
There are tens of thousands, in fact. We can be doing this for days.
Yes.
Thank you all for the kind words in the stream, and thank you all for turning up. Retro Gaming Denmark asked, what games are coming up? Well, I think we have just exhausted our initial batch that we put together in order to launch the channel. So
Mm-hmm.
we are very serious about getting your suggestions because it will influence what we play next. And we'll be taking a few days break now. Apparently there's some kind of festival happening. And there may be eating of food and drinking of beer and wine.
I've been told I've got to go downstairs and spend time with my family. Jeez. Oh, and cook them some food.
Yes, well, there is that. Yes, you and I both do the cooking, don't we? So, yeah, we've both got that to look forward to.
What we might do in the interim is we have some ideas about games and genres we could do. We might throw a poll out there. So maybe look out on various places, Discord, in the various community places, all below us, right down there.
Yeah.
We'll throw a poll out and get your feedback. So while you're sat there, if you're celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, you can press a button and help us select what might be next on this 8-bit versus journey.
Yeah. Thank you all, everyone, for coming. Please come and join us in Discord or in the other social places, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon.
See you later.